Oh yeah, you know you're gonna be the talk of the town with this thing. Last night, turned on the TV, looked out the window, and then pulled down the shade, and I came to the conclusion my mind cannot be made. She said, what were you thinking? I'm just wondering, is it something that I did? I said it's nothing, just something I picked up as a kid. I hear a lot of empty spaces. I see a big hole in you. I feel an outline that traces an imaginary path back to you. This ain't no ordinary blue. Mike's Music Method. Guys, today we are doing another amazing John Prine song off of the fantastic Tree of Forgiveness album, Prine's last record. I have a bunch of these songs you can check out. Whatever, I did a whole bunch on this album. I'll make a whole playlist. Check them out. No Ordinary Blue. Thank you, Craig, for inspiring the tab for this song. This is a kind of, not total beginner piece, but a fairly good one for beginner-ish players. Check out my Travis picking playlist as always if you want to learn the basics of Travis picking. Watch those first 5 to 10 videos in that playlist before coming back here. But you can do this, I know you can. The only real hard part is the beginning because it's not a typical Travis pick thumb. But by the end of this video, you're going to know this song note for note. And not only that, but you're just going to have a general great takeaway and these kind of punchy Prine rhythms where he'll double up 2 strings in a row instead of hopping it with the Travis picking. In the intro, I did capo 4 just to sing it a little higher. Prine does capo 2. It's in standard tuning. Chords are just G, C, D. Real simple. Before we dive in, just a quick note if you're new to Mike's Music Method. I tabbed these out myself, and we're going to go note by note through the entire thing. So measure by measure, all the fingers used. So timestamps down below are going to be your best friend as you're going to want to jump ahead, move back if you're a beginner, and adjust according to your skill level, but we leave no stone unturned. After we go through everything, we will talk about how to sing and play at the same time. We'll do a little bit on that. Then at the very end of these videos, whenever you learn a section, I'll remind you, jump to the end of the video and just do a slow run through with me where there's timestamps of the slow runs of the verse, the intro, the verse, the chorus, and the outro. Let's do this together. I'm going to hold your hand. I'm Mike. I want you to conquer this song. You're going to conquer it. It's a lovely one. Let's learn it together over the course of the next half hour or so here. Let's do it. Shaboom. Let's do the intro. Keep in mind, guys, this isn't typical Travis picking. It's going to feel a little bit goofy, so we'll take it slow because it's not a simple back and forth. He's thinking of it more kind of melodically and punchy with the rhythm. So measure 1, we're pinching 6 and 3 with the thumb and pointer finger. It's just a G chord. All we need is a ring finger here. And I'm just pinching 6 and 3 twice with thumb and pointer. Then my thumb jumps to the 4th string. Right after I hit that 4th string, my middle is going to be on that 2nd string. So 4, 2 with thumb middle. The rhythm. Down, 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 and 1, 2, 3. And then immediately my thumb hits the 6th string after that. So 3, 4. Measure 2. Same idea, we have 2 pinches at the beginning, but we are going to pinch 6 and 2 now. And instead of just the G, I've got my pointer finger down on the 2nd string. So pinching 6 and 2, I'm doing thumb and middle there. Then I'm going to lift that pointer finger, pinch 6 and 2 again. Then the same ending, where it's thumb on 4, middle on 2, still open. Thumb on 6. So that same ending, 3, 4. All that's done with the middle finger. So 1 and 2 together. Measure 3 is the same as measure 2. Measure 4 starts the same as 2 and 3 did. 6 and 2 I'm pinching here, thumb and middle, with my pointer finger down in the left hand here. Then I lift it, put it back down. Now here we're transitioning to the E minor, and you actually lift them both up. They're both open at the end there. So 3, 4, lift them both. And then we prepare for the next measure, which is E minor. And you can fret this one, you know, as a full E minor, or just put your middle finger down on the second string of the fourth, because we're never actually playing the fifth string. If it's easier to just group it as an E minor, that's fine, or simplify it, and it looks like this, 6. Then we're going to pinch 6 and 2. So the thumb is alone here. Don't let that trip you up. That's a little weird on the E minor. Thumb alone, then we pinch 6 and 2. Then our thumb jumps to the fourth string. Middle finger does a second, back to 6. So it has that same kind of ending as all the previous measures, but it's thumb alone at the beginning. So 3, 4, thumb, pinch, thumb, and thumb, thumb, pinch, thumb, and thumb. And then same thing here. 8 is, again, the same as 4, but instead of on a G chord, it's still on the E minor, and it's just first finger down, lift it, put it down, lift it, pinching 6 and 2 the whole time. Yeah. So I know it's goofy, not that hard, but goofy just because the thumb pattern is not how you would predict it to be in a Travis picked tune. Go slow on that. Now is a great time down below at the end of the song to do slow run-throughs of each section. So take it nice and slow, do the verse a bunch, or sorry, the intro a bunch, and then let's keep going with the verse. Measure 9, let's start singing the verse here. It's lovely. It's just G to E minor again. So we have a G chord. All we're doing is this. Pinching 6 and 3, and I'm using my pointer finger here. Thumbs alone. Then it's thumb, pointer, thumb, pointer. So pinch, thumb, 6, 3, 4, 3. Now remember, the thumb's always hopping back and forth, so you really got to get that in your bones. Pinch, thumb, thumb, pointer, pinch, thumb, thumb, pointer. Last night, turned on the TV. So measure 10. No pinch at the beginning, otherwise it's the same. 6, 4, 6, 3, 4, 3. Thumb, 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 pointer, thumb, pointer. Next measure's the same. 11's the same. Thumb, 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 pointer, thumb, pointer. 12's a little different. Thumb, 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 middle, thumb, pointer. And that middle finger's on the second string. So the strings are 6, 4, 6, 2, 4, 3. Got all that. We'll keep going here. In measure 13, we go to an E minor. Again, we don't need to fret all of them. You can just do this finger here, or that finger, however you want to do it. But it's your call, and it's just 6, 4, 6, 2, 4, 3. So I have thumb, 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 middle is on the second, thumb on 4, and then the pointer finger is on the third. So the ending is 6, 2, 4, 3, thumb, middle, thumb, call that the outside in pattern, right? I do the outside, then I do the inside, right? Thumb, middle on the outside, thumb on the inside, pointers on the inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. Is that all measure? 3, 4. Then the next measure, same, I think. Yep, exactly the same. Same again. So 13, 14, 15 were all the same. Measure 16. Little different, little variety on that E. 6, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4. Thumb, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, thumb. And then the end of the verse on the last line, my mind cannot be made. Get a little color. 17 is just a G chord pinch, 6 and 3. Thumb alone. 6, 3, 4. So pinch, thumb, and pointer. Thumb alone, thumb, pointer, thumb. Easy enough. Now we have the C/G chord. The way we do that is you keep your ring finger there, but the rest of them like as if you're playing a C chord. So it's a C chord, but we don't actually move that ring finger from the G where it was. So these two just go down to a C chord. And he takes advantage of this. He hammers into it. This happens all the time in folk and country songs. So if you don't know this trick, learn it because it's going to go a long way. So in the tab, you'll just see that I'm pinching 6 and 2 with my thumb and middle, and I'm hammering on the first fret. But technically, I'm going to hammer into the entire chord. So you do actually sound that second fret hammer, but it's hammering from nothing. You're just hearing that, right? I'm not actually hitting the D string with my right hand, but I'm hammering them both down into that C/G chord, and that is very common with Prine and Blaze Foley and Dylan and Paul Simon and the whole works of them. So we're pinching 6 and 1, even though we're hammering down the whole chord right after we pinch 6 and 1, also hammering that middle finger. And then I'm going to play that middle finger with my thumb, and then immediately go right back to the second string with my middle finger. So pinch, hammer, thumb, middle. The second half of the measure is thumb on 6, pointer on 3, thumb on 4. Right, just thumb, pointer, thumb. 3, 4. Measure 19's back to a G chord. That was the same as 17. 20, we pinch 6 and 2, thumb alone. 6, 3, 4. So pinch 6 and 2. 6, 3, 4, that's thumb and middle, thumb, thumb, pointer, thumb. Good news is the entire verse repeats as is, but instead of doing 20, we do the second ending, which is 21, and we just have a pinch here. So we do need to put our pinky down, where we pinch 6 and 1. Then we hit the thumb again on the 6th string, and then we walk up, open on the A string, second fret on the A string. So it's pinch, the 2 3s here, thumb again, we walk up, open, 2, G, A, B, that cool little walk. End of the video, timestamps are down below. Do a slow run of the verse before moving on to the chorus here. Chorus, measure 22, we kind of are walking up into a C chord. Nothing fancy here, just a normal C chord, and my thumb's going back and forth between 5 and 4. The beginning we pinch 5 and 2, thumb alone on 4. Then it's thumb, pointer, thumb. So 5, 2, 4, 5, 3, 4. Pinch with the middle. The pointer goes in between on the 3rd string there. Then it's right back to a G chord, 6 and 2. Pinch 6 and 2, thumb alone on 4, 6, 3, 4. 6 and 2, thumb, thumb, pointer, thumb. 24 goes to a G chord. So same thing here. This is one of these moments where there's a hammer-on one note, but I'm pretty sure most pickers are just using that moment to hammer into the entire chord. So he's pinching 4 and 2 with his thumb. So in this measure, the thumb's going 4, 3. That's our Travis pick, 4, 3, back and forth. The first hit is pinching 4 and 2 with thumb and pointer. But we're going to hammer into that entire D chord because we just came from this G. You can just hammer this one if you want, but it's kind of ridiculous because then you're doing all this extra work of like staggering all the fingers down one at a time. More work than is needed or necessary, so just hammer into the entire chord there. I'm only pinching 4 and 2, but you might hear some artifact of the other hammer on, but it's cool. It sounds cool. Right after that, thumb does 3, middle does 2. So that pinch. Then the second half of the measure just ends 4, 2, 3, thumb, pointer, thumb. So all of it together, 3, 4, hammer, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, thumb. Measure 25 is really cool, back to a G chord. This little John Prine walk, also reminiscent of Mississippi John Hurt. Pinching 6 and 2 on a G chord, thumb alone on 4, then thumb goes to the 5th string, and both of these are open. It's 5, 3, then we do 5, 3 again, but we do the 2nd fret. So we're walking up again to the C like we did earlier. So pinch 6 and 2, thumb alone, do the walk up, 5, 3, 5, 3. Got that 2nd fret down there. 3, 4. Pinch, 3, 4, pinch, thumb, thumb, pointer, thumb, pointer. Then And the chorus repeats. I think it's all the same, right? 26, back to the C, back to the G. 28, the D is just simple. There's no hammer on. Just pinch 4 and 2. Thumb alone on 3. Thumb alone on 4. Then right back to 2. Thumb on 3. Pinch, thumb, thumb, and thumb. Pinch, thumb, and pointer. Thumb, thumb, pointer, thumb. Real simple. Then 29, a little bit different. This one's actually kind of tricky. Something you got to get used to. Starts the same. Pinch, then thumb alone. But then immediately we're hitting the middle finger on the second string there. So pinch, thumb, and pointer. Thumb, middle. And check out this ending. We have thumb, pointer, thumb. We don't Travis pick the end. So the thumb alone is 4, 3, 4, 4. Pinch, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, thumb on the same string it just did. That's the tricky part there. John Prine loves doing that move at the end of certain phrases. Instead of alternating the thumb, he'll give you 2 hits in a row. It like almost signifies that it's transitioning to somewhere else. Just gives it a little more energy. Real simple once you get used to it, but if you're not used to it, your thumb's really going to want to keep doing 4, 3, 4, 3. So hammer away on that. And just feel it, right? Don't think that you're counting it. Just to give it that energy. Shigoom, the donation pitch. Guys, Mike's Music Method operates on the value for value model, and I would please, ask of you to consider the value for value model. You can do this in a lot of ways. I'm working real hard to bring you guys awesome tutorials, the most accurate tabs that you can find on the internet. Guitar knowledge, wisdom, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to bring it to you. I'm passionate about teaching. I want you to get better. Please return that value in kind. If you go over to mikesmusicmethod.com, there are so many ways you can contribute. You can just do a one-time donation of $500 and put a big smile on my face, or you can become a monthly contributor. Maybe you can give $40 every month for your guitar education, $10 a month. I don't know. It's up to you. That is the value for value model in action. Everyone is at a different place financially in their life. They're consuming this content at a different amount. But guys, it only works if you truly abide by that honor system, right? If you're consuming my stuff, learning a couple songs every month, that's a lot of value. That is a lot of value. I mean, how much money? First off, you have to find the right music teacher, pay him how much to tab these songs out, right? This is no small effort on my part. So I ask you to please consider the value for value model. If you're totally broke as a joke, guess what? You can still watch these videos. But if you're not, kick some back to your buddy Mike. And one way to frame it is it's like a charitable act. If you give to me, that means there is no paywall. And it means even those broke can still access this awesome content. So that's one way to think about your donation. You're not only helping me, but you're helping keep this free for people who otherwise can't afford it. And one more way to frame it, if I was your local dude in town and you were coming over to my house and you were learning all these songs, come on, you know you'd at least buy me a frickin' cup of coffee, at least, right? I mean, how many songs? I know some of you out there have learned quite a few tunes from Mike's Music Method, and if I was literally there with you and we were learning these songs together, I was living in your neighborhood, you'd be buying me a meal once a month, wouldn't you? You know you would. So that's it. It's a value for value model. Please, guys, like honestly, I put a ton of time into this, and I'd love to have more time to do it and be rewarded for these efforts. And honestly, I'd love to make a living doing this, which would buy me a lot more time to be giving you guys amazing content. You get it. I'm starting to get long-winded, but it's very important. Please consider. Onward with the tune. Oh, and you can get this cool Mike's Music Method swag if you want. You know, I get a few bucks for every purchase, so those links are down below too. Oh yeah. You know you're going to be the talk of the town with this thing. Then the chorus repeats. We go back to measure 22, but instead of doing 29, when we get to 28, we jump and do the second ending. And it's still a D, but it's just a different count on the D. So here, measure 30 in the tab. Starts the same like it did before. We do that again. So those are the same as 28, right? 30 and 31 are the same as 28 was. Then we get to 32. Again, slightly different, but so similar to the other one. We just have pinch, thumb, middle. So pinch, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. We've seen that before. And then it's just thumb, thumb on the D string with nothing in between it. Cool, guys. Use the timestamps, do the slow run of the chorus, get really good at it. Now let's do the outro, because after that chorus, it's another verse, another chorus. Then we have this outro part, and it starts on a C chord. And again, remember that we will sing this later on. We'll put it all in context. Now let's just, one thing at a time, get the picking good here first. C chord, pretty easy. Thumb, we've seen this before, I think. 5, 4, 3, 5, 2 with the middle finger. 4, thumb, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, thumb. And the thumb's just bouncing between these. 3, 4. Then we go to a G chord, but it's a B in the bass, so it just looks like this. All we need is a second fret there, right? It's implying this big G chord, but we're only playing the inside of it. Thumb's doing the same. In fact, it's the exact same pattern. Thumb, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, thumb. So we did it on the C. We walk down to the G/B. Walk down again to the A minor, right? Well, that's in a million different songs. Dust in the Wind. Landslide, right? It's just a classic move. So that A minor, yeah, the pattern's still the same. Thumb, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, thumb, and it does it again in 36. And we loop that 3 times. Too deep to swim through, too cold to hold, whatever the lyrics are there. And that repeats 3 times. Then we get to 37, and he ends it on a D chord. Actually a D sus2 chord. So what's happening here, our thumb is going back and forth like usual on a D chord, 4 to 3. My middle finger is not going to be lifted, it's going to be open there, right? I don't need my middle finger. It's open on the high E, and it's thumb, thumb, middle on that high E string, open. So 4, 3, 1, easy enough. Then it's 4, 2. My pointer finger is going to play that 2 there. Thumb on 3. So thumb, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, thumb. And then in measure whatever it is here, 38, he pinches 4 and 1, and he hammers on that second fret. So let's do 37 and 38, 3, 4. And he lets that ring. And then he kind of goes back to the first verse, but not really. It's a little bit different here. And let's do it. I think that measure 39 there is the same as the beginning of the verse. Yeah, 40 is the same, 41. Yeah, it's only 42 is different. It's just 6, 4, 6, 3, 4. He gets sparse and abandons the weird picking thing. And then he just ends at G, then he jumps to the, does a little arpeggio. And I'm pretty sure it's 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't think he plays a 5th string. So let's do that whole ending from 39. 3, 4. Last night, turned on the TV, looked out the window. Then it changes, then pulled down the shade. Yeah. Singing and playing together. Down below, I will link to an entire live stream I did on how I go about singing and playing together. Start with the chords, only strumming, then just do the thumb, slowly build it bit by bit. I have that's a great video. If you really want to sing and play at the same time, I will link to that video down below in the description, singing and playing together. But let's just kind of put it in perspective here. We're not going to do all the groundwork in this video, but maybe just start with your thumb. Last night, turned on the TV, looked out the window, and then pulled down the shade. And I came to the conclusion, my mind cannot be made. So what we're trying to do is just determine where on the upbeats and the downbeats all these lyrics are being placed. And that can be hard, and chances are you're not going to do it exactly the same as Prine, but just listen enough so where you can get in the ballpark. Another really simple one is just tap along to the song and sing it, just so you're noting, oh yeah, last night, ba 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 ba. You're just kind of feeling where the ups and downs are. This one isn't so hard where I don't think you'll actually have to like write it out or circle things in your tab. I would just kind of use intuition. For me, this one is not hard. And once the thumb gets good, then you start to add more. Last night, turned on the TV, looked out the window, then pulled down the shade, and I came to the conclusion my mind cannot be made. No, whatever, I don't have enough there. But that's the idea. Always start slow, strum, just use your thumb and slowly build up from there. Good news is all those verses feel the same, right? Different lyrics, maybe a different syllable count, but basically the same. So let's jump to the chorus in 21. Yeah, I hear a lot of empty spaces. I see a big hole in you. So start with the thumb, then maybe you build from there. I hear a lot of empty spaces. I see a big hole in you. I'd have to practice that a little bit, right? There's that kind of hammer-on part. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I hear a lot of empty spaces. I see. I love how he delays that I to the fourth beat there, or the third beat instead of the first. I see a big hole in you. Yeah. The chorus just repeats, and then the outro part comes straight out of that chorus. This ain't no ordinary, then measure 33. Blue, too cold to hold, too deep to repeat. Swim through, too cold to hold, too deep to swim through. Then you try to pick it. This ain't no ordinary. Blue, too cold to hold, too deep to swim through. You got it? This ending is a little bit hard to sing, guys. Let's go real slow because we're doing that complicated picking in the intro while singing with it. So we've got last night, turned on the... There's a lot of words to cram in there. Last night, nothing here. Turned on the... Last night, turned on the TV, looked out the window, then pulled down the shade. Keep in mind, I didn't spend a ton of time to get the lyrics exactly on each note because sometimes they're also like in between, right? They're on a beat that isn't finger picked. So without actually tabbing out the melody, I can't get it exact, and this is more of a guitar lesson. But take that part slow. Last night, turned on the TV, looked out the... Right, that looked isn't really on that fourth string. It's like a moment after. So keep that stuff in mind. Go slow. I know you'll get it with some practice. Shaboom! Let's do the slow runs. Let's just do the intro, measure 1 through 8. 2, 3, 4... About getting the pulse of it, right? Right, you got to get the rhythmic feel, or it almost seems nonsensical without the rhythm. Slow run of the verse. Go from measure 9 to 21. Repeat with the second ending. 3, 4. Last night, turned on the TV, looked out the window. Let's do the chorus, measure 22. Actually, let's walk into it from 21. 3, 4. Hammer. Fun walk. So I'll keep it slow. Second ending. Again. Then it'd go back to the top. Let's do the outro here. This would be the end right after we finish the bridge. It'd just go straight to 33. So actually, let's take it from 32 again. It's always nice to get the transitions down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second fret. There we go. And let's keep going. 37. Oh, and you can get this cool Mike's Music Method swag if you want. You know, I get a few bucks for every purchase, so those links are down below too. Oh yeah, you know you're gonna be the talk of the town with this thing.